just a short time period. But thanks for joining me. I'm Blaze Casting, an up-and-coming Dota 2 caster. Generally casting duo with a couple of my friends, but one of two of my friends. But in this case, I'm just going to be casting solo for this evening, and hopefully, if you guys join me some other time next week or something like that, a couple things will be different. Obviously, like I said, I'll be duo casting. Otherwise, my hardware is a little bit. It's going to be updated in about 3 days. I get a little bit of a frame drop when I have a lot going on the screen. It's not too much of a problem, but it is noticeable at the very least, so that's no longer going to be an issue coming Tuesday or Wednesday. So check that out when I get back up to my full potential on the stream. But just trying out this SECS thing. I've been doing a lot of different tournaments previously and want to try this out, so if you guys like it, definitely let me know in chat and everything like that. But enough of me jabbering on about myself. I'm going to go on into the draft as we see Team Smiley Face versus Mix. And right now these are the lower brackets finals, so they've all lost in both of them lost in round 1, but made a comeback, and since then have not lost a game. So doing pretty well here. We have Undying and Templar Assassin picked as the bans for Team Smiley Face on the Dire. They have the second pick, so those were just things they wanted to take off the board that they didn't want in the enemy's hands as a first pick option. But they do pick up Rubik and Jakiro for themselves, which is pretty solid for teamfight, whether they put Rubik in mid. I saw Oathkeeper playing him twice now, so I believe that's going to be the hero of choice. On the other hand, we're going to have to see who picks up the Tide Hunter. I think it's Chingu Dota. I've seen him pick it up a number of times, and along with that, I'm trying to remember who picked up the Jakiro. Perhaps Annihilate, but I wouldn't count Pickles out, as he is pretty good in that supportive initiator role. So we'll see. But on the Radiant, we do have Bounty Hunter and Batrider banned out. And on that note, those are two heroes that just add a lot of momentum to the game. Batrider, especially once he gets that Blink Dagger, is an amazing initiator, pulling people out of position, and honestly one of the better 1v1 heroes in lane. Along those lines, Bounty Hunter is very survivable on the off lane and is just a pain in the neck with his track gold. Once he hits level 6, level 7, he gets a lot of gold to just be distributed amongst his team with those extra bounties, and it can be very painful in a gank metagame that we are now in. So yeah, taking those off the board immediately and following up with picks such as Darkseer. Definitely very high tier still, despite the vacuum nerf. And of course, setting up some AoE ultimates. We can see the Queen of Pain, Sonic Wave picked up, and the Venomancer with his Poison Nova. So it's going to be really hard to position for Team Smiley up against this, but they have a little bit of bang for their buck themselves with Tide Hunter and Jakiro. Very powerful stuns in the Ravage and the Ice Path. So along those lines, one major thing to mention with Venomancer specifically, and his comparative kind of counter synergy to Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain is all about upfront damage. I mean, when she gets her second scream off, I guess that adds in a lot more to it. But yeah, along those lines, she mostly is about just a quick blink in, scream, Sonic Wave combo, just try to knock one or two heroes out immediately. Venomancer, obviously more over time aspect. That's the main thing of his toxicity, and all of his ability kit is going to be damage over time. So they get the initial damage. Then with Darkseer's Wall of Replica, they're actually kind of Darkseer does Wall of Replica initial damage and Vacuum initial damage, and Queen of Pain does the damage with the Screen and Sonic Wave, and then their teamfight kind of progresses to a stable amount of damage over time from there, with the Ion Shells going on out, along with the Gale and Nova from the Veno. So it's going to be a lot of magic damage. I expect the Tide Hunter to most likely be picking up a pipe of insight really quickly if the Jakiro isn't. But we'll have to see. That's not how they've built thus far, but shouldn't be that big of a deal one way or another. But we do have a couple bans coming on out along with that. They didn't want the Leshrac on the board for some kind of crazy push action between Veno and Lesh, or I'm not too sure. Maybe just the fact that Split Earth and Pulse Nova are really good when they're vacuumed into a tiny little spot. But I mean, you could also mention that for like Sand King and other similar heroes in design. But one way or another, we're moving on forward. We have the bans coming out from the Naga Siren and the Anti-Mage, so they know that they're going to be looking for some kind of carry. They haven't actually picked up any endgame heroes on Team Smiley Face just of yet, so they're going to be banning out carries. They just want to give them less options, and the fact that Queen of Pain and Darkseer can get up pretty high mana pools, the Anti-Mage can greatly frustrate that, so let's get a ban out there, along with the counter initiation of Naga Siren, Song of Siren into Ravage Tide. Good counter synergies, they wanted off the board. Along with that, the Shadow Shaman ban. I'm not exactly sure why they wanted that. I mean, the Ether Shock is powerful for pushing, and Leshrac, in that regard, Leshrac and Shadow Shaman are both pusher heroes. So that indicates to me that they want to go, Team Smiley wants to go more towards the late game. They played a team fight Chaos Knight earlier, but they might want to be going for some even later game carries, like, say, a Faceless Void. The Lone Druid does get banned out, but we'll have to see how they're going to be drafting that up in just a moment's time. But I definitely think just the fact that they're banning out all these pusher heroes, so Chen, the Shadow Shaman, and the Leshrac, they definitely want to be looking towards a lineup that has the advantage when the game lasts longer, and that's the point of banning out all those pushers, so that they can maintain their tower control and keep a decent amount of momentum going on through. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and we'll see the next picks in just a moment's time. If you guys don't know me, though, you can check out, I have YouTube VODs for tournaments, and when I did co-caster tryouts, up on youtube.com/blazecasting. I also do change up my schedule and events and do updates on that based on my Twitter, which is @blazecasting. So, and of course, if you're watching this on VOD, my stream is twitch.tv/blazecasting, but most of the viewers will probably just see that as right before their eyes. So this is my first time doing this Sunday evening Cup series thing that NA Dota presents, and I do hope to do more with that. And yeah, along those lines, I'm planning to do that next week and the week after that. So we'll have to see. I also believe I'm going to be doing an It's Gosu tournament, the amateur tournament with the Smoke, co-casting with him on Friday and Saturday of this next coming week, with the better hardware, so no lag. But yeah, Chaos Knight getting picked up, so they're going to play more teamfight oriented play, along with that Disruptor and Sven getting picked up. So I really like the Sven pickup. He kind of synergizes with a combination that's already presented, but also adds in a little bit of something different. The fact of the matter is, when Darkseer vacuums individuals together, Queen of Pain, Venomancer, even Disruptor, they have a lot of powerful magic damage. But Sven brings something to the table that they don't. He brings the Stormhammer, which is perfect to follow up that cluster. The second that the vac into the wall happens, Sven follows up with that Stormhammer. Perfect. So they're all stunned, and that's where it sets up the Gale, the Nova, the Quap, Scream, and Sonic, and to static field around with, or kinetic field with Static Storm. But also Sven, with that Greater Cleave and the God Strength, does a heck of a lot of physical damage. So 70% cleave damage at rank 4, once he ranks that up for the team fight specifically. Big deal. So this does, however, put a lot of pressure on the shoulders of the Darkseer himself. Dilated Mind really needs to vacuum very precisely, as it is a little bit less on radius and range, to try to get these locked down, because if he gets a good vacuum, but then there's a Ravage that goes off before they can really follow up, then all this action, all the action from the Radiant really gets thrown off, and they don't really get the initiation that they're looking for. So that's kind of something to keep in mind along those lines. We do have, I'll just go through the rosters real quick. We have Fate, just as before, picking up the Chaos Knight. And down here we have Oathkeeper on the Rubik, Chingu Dota on the Tidehunter, Pickles on the Jakiro, and Annihilate actually picking up the Lina. So we'll see how that works out for them. They're all going for the bottom lane. Want to get control of that little Rocheling running on through, giving some last minute supplies as they progress down into the enemy jungle. But yeah, it might be actually a 5v5 right at the beginning. That would be very exciting. But right now they're just trying to get control over this lane, possibly gearing up for an aggressive tri-lane. Didn't really talk about lanes so much as a team fight, but that's because the team fights are going to be big, fast, and furious. But here comes the start. Trades the stuns between the two semi-carries, and now, with the ice and the fire, combining those together, nice ice wall, and ice path, and the light strike array from Lina, able to bring down the Sven, picking up a nice first blood. The kill went to Chaos Knight, so there's a lot of really good gold in the right hands. Now he is practically out of mana here. The Gale was not able to take off the Clarity, so he will be getting that back up in no time at all, because he did very intelligently bring in 2 Clarities to start things off. But yeah, that's really a good start for them. That's what they're looking for, and I love this ward placement. Observer ward in this direction. They really know anything that's going on in this bottom lane. Looks like it's going to be Darkseer solo on the bottom, so similar kind of symmetrical lane compositions. 3-1-1, where they go the aggressive tri-lane on top to try to get Sven as much farm as possible, because they don't really gear for a 3v3. They gear for pickoffs, like the Venomancer Gale, the Disruptor, once he gets up his Kinetic Field Glimpse combo, is really for pulling somebody out of position, just bringing them down. And that's great for going up against like a solo Tidehunter. But going up against a 3v3, they don't have the AoE stuns, they don't have an Undying Tombstone. I mean, they need more lane presence. So they say, okay, we can't handle this tri-lane on bot. We'll send the Darkseer there and have him survive as best he can. Interestingly enough, at level 1 he picked up the Ion Shell, so he doesn't have any points for Surge. And that could be a problem for him, but he has already picked up level 2, so no big deal. Oathkeeper, Rubik, picking up a bottle pretty quickly right now, just at actually 0 last hits, yeah, he definitely needs to step on that if he wants to get his bottle really quickly. Saved up 430 gold and needs to move towards that 600 as soon as possible so he can control the runes and jump in from there. But one thing to keep in mind is Rubik's movement speed did get nerfed a little bit, along with that Queen of Pain still has that level 1 blink for a long period of time to have some advantage. Back on bottom though, nice Ice Path starting things off. Oh my gosh, they hit it with the Light Strike Array too. They are both level 1, so they don't have any follow-up damage, but that's a really good start for them, burning through at least 2 tangos just with that combination alone. The big thing for that is that they stunned right when the surge went off. It's only a 3-second duration, so if you stack your stuns, once Pickles especially gets to rank 2 Ice Path, that's going to be very, very difficult for Darkseer to hold his own down in this position here. Similarly, on the top end, we have Tidehunter getting pulled out of position, and yeah, it's going to be hard for him to go up against on this tower. Now, I can't even recall if this ward blocks the pull, but I don't think it really matters. He's going to actually just go into the jungle. Not even with Anchor Smash, he just really wants to try to survive and try to get any golden experience that he can. He is level 2 already, so I mean he is blocking a little bit of damage. I think 7 damage per physical auto attack, but now nice smoke coming in from Lina and Jakiro combining together to coordinate up against this Queen of Pain, but the blink is there, and unfortunately they just kind of wasted their time. Pressure back, which is good, and gives a little bit more breathing room to Rubik, but all the same. Now here comes Venomancer. This is going to be bad for Oathkeeper, really, really bad indeed. They could look for a deny on him. No, too much damage coming out. Scream will finish the job, and Queen of Pain picks up an early kill onto the Rubik, which is a really big deal. So now kind of 2v2 with the supports and Queen of Pain. But one way or another, Rubik will get back in the action, hopefully in no time at all. But he not only lost the gold, actually nice combo of stuns. I don't know if they can bring him down though. One more auto attack is all they need. Fade Bolt bounces on through. I saw a really nice Fade Bolt before last game, and that one just as solid, making sure that it will bounce on through to get the last hit on that at very, very long range. But what I was trying to say there is, the fact of the matter is, yeah, with that kill, he'll have enough gold for bottle. If he hadn't acquired that, then the TP scroll, the cost of his death, it would have been too much, and he would have been in a really, really rough spot. But the fact of the matter is he got that kill, he got the gold he needed for the bottle, and now that's going to help him out a lot in the lane once the Flying Courier gets back up there. But one thing to note, I have absolutely no idea why Chaos Knight transitioned up here without his allies. What I kind of feel happened was Tidehunter, after jungling a little bit, went to the bottom lane. They want to do that swap. Like I said, the Radiant haven't built their 3-man lane to go 3v3. They built their lane to go 3v1. So a nice little swap coming out from Smiley Face, trying to get up and together so they can go to the 3v3 that they're looking for, because they have the AoE stuns. They can win a skirmish like that. Nice Reality Rift to start things off. 2-second bolts going on through. Kinetic Field does pop up. There goes the Gale. The Ice Path isn't enough. Now they're taking a heck of a lot of damage. Nice Light Strike Array, but it only hits one. Pickle's taking a lot of damage. Thundering Strike and the dots will make sure that he takes a fall to the Disruptor. And Annihilate now losing a lot of health to these the Poison Sting. Fate doing a little bit of blocking just to make sure he'll get out alright. Once that expires, he will pop a salve on both ends, I do believe. Yep, both of them have salves, so they will be able to be raring to go to fight this once more, but still, that's a lot of pressure to take early on. With the fact of the matter is, they have, like I said, they have really, really good team fight with those AoE stuns, but if they only hit one person, you might as well just be throwing, you know, Skeleton King, the Hellfire Blasts. But anyways, Oathkeeper doing a little bit better on middle lane, like I said, the bottle, but one thing to note is that Queen of Pain has that blink mobility and can control those runes very effectively. So Kia has the blink, has rank 3 Scream, and now double damage, which will help her out quite a bit. But can't take our eye too much off this lane, as it's really going to be most action back and forth. But right now Sven and Queen of Pain are both leading on last hits. Ice Path goes on through. Annihilate not able to follow up with the Light Strike Ray. So it's pretty much just a 1v1 Darkseer versus his Tidehunter. Nothing really going to be going on there. I mean, there's going to be harassment over time, and technically one might fall, but I don't think it's going to be anything unexpected. It's going to be very predictable, very, very gradual, as they're both very beefy heroes. Kiao trying to zone out as best he can, but it's going to be a really big deal who gets a 6-minute rune. Right now, Kiao's on rather low life, and he's out of bottle charges, so Oathkeeper's doing pretty well in that regard. They're both out, but nevertheless, he stole the Scream, and that's going to be really good for exchanging back and forth. So yeah, this 6-minute rune could go either way, because they both have wards on the runes, but all the same, it's going to be really, really important, the timing of that. Pickles kind of trying to get in a position where they have an advantage. They did the nice creep pull over here. Now the neutrals are just laying into the Radiant. They have to fall back. Zeb taking a few hits there, but the Flying Courier flies in, and that's going to give a bottle to Sven. Yeah, bottle on Sven as well as finishing up his Bracer. Interesting build there. I haven't really seen that, but it definitely will help him out with his major mana issues. 140 for that Stormhammer. Quite expensive, very important. But Queen of Pain is in the action now. Kia has rotated towards the top. There's the Gale, there's the Stormhammer. Attempt for a really nice Light Strike Array, but just north, and didn't hit anybody, unfortunately. So that's going to be the death of the Jakiro, bringing the makes his advantage to 4-2 as far as kills go. Now the rune spawn. Here's the question: will it hit up on the top? Kia wants it. He doesn't get it. If in the middle, if Rubik just runs on down bottom, Oathkeeper could easily pick that up, but he made a mistake, and unfortunately the Dire Wards expired right before the 6-minute mark, so he has no idea. Along those lines, Kia will get his blink up in just a moment because he did rank up his blink, and I think he will be able to snipe it. He will indeed. Telekinesis up on the cliff, or just pick it up, whatever works for you. You have the Invis Rune, and that's what's important. So he pops it off, and he has a full bottle to work with now. Kia really wants to scream him down here, but I don't think it's going to work out for him. Oh man, he tried to juke it. He tried to be like, oh, I'm walking up here, bam, but nope. Pretty much just slow and steady Oathkeeper, keeping along his pace and doing what he needs to get out of dodge. In the meantime, though, Sven, like I said, has pretty much control of this lane. I mean, the one thing to mention is the creep equilibrium is completely in favor of the Dire right now. Actually, moving on over, they're looking to Warcry. Nice little glimpse, pulling out Pickles, and yeah, he's completely toast. There's no reinforcements. I mean, there comes Dragon Slave. Actually, Ice Path delays the inevitable, but he will fall, and now Annihilate. Beautiful blocks. Holy crap, he's going to go down just from the auto attacks here, I believe. Yes, he will. Perfect Plague Ward placement. Holy crap, I cannot understate that. Sven moves into here, blocks out this route, and the Plague Ward comes up and blocks out the northern exit. Beautiful play. Now on the western end, they also at least get Oathkeeper up in the action. He TP'd down, has the Scream, and was able to pick off the Venomancer, but I still can't understate the awesomeness of that Plague Ward play right there. Amazing coordination from Mix, just showing why they are right now, I guess, in the top 4 teams for this tournament. But moving on forward, Chaos Knight only has an urn. Definitely needs to pick up some mobility, boots, treads, whatever he can manage. But in the meantime, it looks like Tidehunter has been forced off the lane, a little bit dilated mind. Not even with the Soul Ring, just with a bottle. Bottles all over the place. I'm kind of unorthodox heroes, but it gives them the lane sustainability that they need. So we'll kind of go from there and see how that works out for them. In the meantime, though, Rubik really looking for any kind of mana sustainability, and he will find it with this Illusion Rune. Very important here. But Blink comes in, and Kia, this time around, will be the one that snipes it. Up on the cliff, he will have to have a timeout for about 5 seconds before he blinks back down, but nevertheless, he picked up the Illusion, and that gives him a full bottle. On the other hand, Rubik, very sad indeed, as he's sitting on 70 mana and will maintain that for quite a while. Fate taking a lot of damage, and with this Gale, it may seal his fate. With that Warcry, he's close enough to get a couple more chops in, and that should finish it off. Nice Light Strike Array, but a little bit too little too late. Sven has plenty of HP with that Bracer, playing sustainability with that bottle. Glimpse, Stormhammer, Dead Lina. So really nice action. Like I said, these guys are designed for quick, easy pickoffs on one person by themselves. They singled out the Chaos Knight, brought him down. Singled out the Lina, brought her down, and now they have an 8-3 kill death advantage. Wow, so that's really good for them. If you're looking at who's getting the kills, it is Disruptor, Zeb picking that up, so 4-0 and 2 for him. Great for him, not the best for his team, as the Sven could be benefiting from that a lot better with the Steroid of God's Strength. Now a nice little exchange back and forth. I don't know if anybody's going to drop down from it. Fate's taking a heck of a lot of damage, though. Might want to just earn the Sven. Yeah, that'll work. Oh, beautiful Ravage. I didn't even see Chingu in the action. Holy crap. Yeah, Oathkeeper and Chingu got to bring down Iho. Will finish the job. Ice Path on Zeb. He will drop down as well. Oh my gosh. I think the Radiant Mix was just as surprised about that as I was. Didn't really see that flank. Got to pay a little bit more attention to the minimap, but damn, that was really good gank action. Right when Chingu and Oathkeeper were needed the most, they came in. And in the end, Chaos Knight survived out of that, I believe. Venomancer, no, maybe he died to dots. He was dropping really low and kinetic fielded in. So I believe he did drop down there. 3-3 and 0, not exactly where you want to be at. But like I said, that was kind of a bit of a turnaround. 9-6 now. Honestly, like I said, this is going to be all about the team fights. These skirmishes are going to help them get the key items to try to survive in it, mechs, pipes, etc. Maybe a little bit more mobility and durability for the Chaos Knight, that kind of stuff. But until Sven gets some major damage items, maybe like a crit or armlet or really whatever he needs, it's really going to be about the skill usage more so than the gold advantage. Though I will mention real quick, sitting at 1500. Pretty happy for the rating at this stage in the game. Warcrying up, tried to get in a good position against Annihilate. Nice attempt with the Plague Ward once more. The Stormhammer goes on through. Now the Gush goes on. Annihilate misses the Light Strike Array. Unfortunately, puts it a little bit too far, as if he was going to walk back. 1 second Chaos Bolt, not going to be enough. Anchor Smash will lower him down. However, the Reality Rift will finish the job. In the end, Iho, though, on the Venomancer will be falling back. I'm not sure if that's just Ho or El Ho, but I'm going to go with Iho. Whatever. And there's Pickles in pursuit with the smoke, but I do not think he can... Oh, wow, really good clairvoyance, knowing exactly where he's... Nope, missed the ward. That really kind of just picked him off and knew exactly what was going on. And he might be able to... Yeah, with the Plague Ward, they both know exactly where each other is at, but the Reality Rift catching him out. He's definitely going to drop down here. Really, really nice usage of this Observer Ward, knowing exactly where he was going, blocking his path with the ice, and from there, dropping it down. However, Dilated Mind, looking to creep skip a little bit. Yeah, just with this rank 4 Ion Shell, just burning through these creeps really quickly and putting a lot of damage to this tower. Already dropping down to below 500. 2 more range creeps to eat through, as well as a siege creep. It's going to be very painful. They don't really want to pop Fortify on this, but they may have to. They want to get the deny is really what they need to do. Let the siege creep keep on hitting the tower. You will be able to get in below 10%. No. Just barely a little bit. A couple more shots might have done it, but unfortunately misgauged that a little bit. Anyways, it is down to 230, and that's a very vulnerable point that they have to keep track of now. TPs, etc. But on the other hand, Lena's getting a decent amount of experience. If we just check the experience per minute in general, Rubik and Tidehunter, with their transitions, with their kills that they've been a part of, as well as getting solo experience, they're doing really good right now. Like I said, it's going to be a lot about the skills, especially with Ravage coming back up into play. Basilius, very interesting. Yeah, he's going to be building towards the pipe, which is, I think, the best choice he can make, especially considering all the magic damage they're going to be up against in the near future. Venomancer, Queen of Pain, whatever. Along those lines, Fate has picked up his treads, and that's a pretty big deal. Nice positioning by Oathkeeper, kind of hiding his positioning until they decide to dive. Speaking of which, Sven going in, falls for the walls, wants to go up on Fate. He does get a nice stun off, but they don't know that Oathkeeper's here. Nice scream, steals the Stormhammer, tries to throw it back. I'm not sure who it hit, but one way or another, the Chaos Knight has fallen down to the Sonic Wave. Iho gets picked up, blasted through with the Dual Breath Knight. Nice Light Strike Array. They're all under tower here, but it's still in the creeps for the time being. Sven's taking a lot of damage now, sending south the Stormhammer. He does pop his ultimate God Strike to try to one-hitter, does manage to do so despite the Light Strike Array, but Oathkeeper will clean that up and avenge her in the time being. Nice little exchange. They won't get the stun, will they? Oh, so close. But no, nice health threshold. Probably had like 70, 80 HP. And same on the same token, Venomancer going to teleport out to safety as well. So in the end, the K to D, it's going to be 12-9 in favor of Mix, but you know, it's still keeping it even, and that's one advantage that they have, is that they still have a mean team fight with these guys. I mean, Lena has a little bit more semi-potential, I guess, semi-carrying potential with the Fiery Soul attack speed base, but she's still going to be mostly going for primarily supportive utility pickups, maybe a Yule Scepter or something like that. Can dispel Purge and Surge and things along those lines. In the meantime, Annihilate taking a heck of a lot of damage. Kia, level 9, and loving every second of it, because that's just where, wow, he just gets caught out. I guess he knew he was going to, he probably thought he was going to die to the Shadow Strike, but one thing to keep in mind, it's only rank 1, so it doesn't do that much damage over time. If you had like a Tango or something, you would have definitely survived, but nevertheless, here is the tower that I was talking about. It is in a vulnerable point. The creeps are hitting it. Pickles wants to last hit it, going in for it. And, oh no, misses it just by a little bit, and Patty Cake comes in. Darkseer, Dilated Mind, taking the last hit on that, and there's a lot of gold. Did favor the Radiant, but now may pay for it. Stacking the Telekinesis on top of the Stormhammer, not the best option, but I think they can still finish the job. Popping the wall. How does he even have wall at level 10? I mean, yeah, I guess it's the best time to pick it up. I didn't realize he was 10. But nevertheless, he has dropped down, and the Fade Bolt will finish off the illusions that were created, except for Super Shark Tide, made of glowy lightning electricity. Anywho. Up on top, we do have Fate trying to hold out against this initiation here. Oh my gosh, he's going on Kya when he's getting initiated on 3 people, though Chingu wants to get a big Ravage off. He does hit 2. I believe he hit the Disruptor anyways, but Fate's going to drop down in the process. Just nice action from the Disruptor. Now Chingu's taking a lot of damage. Pops off the Magic Wand. Will heal up a decent amount. Sven, we're glowy red, trying to burn people down, and he does actually finish the job with Tidehunter, now in pursuit of Annihilate. Nice combo, but she's all by herself, and there's really nothing else that can come positively of that. So yeah, Oathkeeper has good initiation now. He has the Stormhammer, he has the Blink Dagger, but they just got wrecked in that team fight, and with them down underneath their getting dived underneath their tower and popping the Ravage off, they put them in a really bad spot. The fact of the matter is they can't follow up now. They don't have the Ravage, and all their tier 1s are down, so they have a real momentum problem. You look at the gold soaring up in favor of the Radiant here, so almost 7,500. Oh my gosh, that would have been hilarious if they're wow, just playing around with this guy, just throwing him all over the place with telekinesis, and then he was going to try to counter vacuum onto the cliff, and then finally Reality Rift does the trick, pulling him off. In the process, the Venomancer does get caught out. The Gale goes on. The Gush goes on through. Now he doesn't have his Gale for a long time, so unless he can do some crazy pro block, with his Plague Wards, he is completely toast as soon as Chingu gets closed in on him. Nice Reality Rift. One more auto attack is needed, given the kill to Fate to bring up his GPM a little bit. Speaking of which, right now top 3 GPM is going to the Radiant. Chaos Knight doing not too hot with the 260 that is currently looking at right now as Sven continues to farm now that he has transitioned towards bottom. Look at it, he's not really CSing. His GPM is coming through kills and assists. He's really been a big part of that, and you can just see the 6.75 assist gold and I guess kill bounty as well buff at work, because he only has 38 last hits, but he's still like 312 GPM. Not bad. Not bad at all. It's 16 minutes in, but you know, you could work on the farm a bit, no problem. Anyways, he has the drum, he has the treads, he wants to initiate with that maxed out Warcry, giving a nice armor buff of 16, reducing all the physical damage incoming. There's not that much of it. I mean, it's mostly auto attacks, the Phantasms once they get going along with their crits, and then the Anchor Smash, but nevertheless, it's a lot of damage, and he decides he wants to mitigate it as best he can. So, interesting pickup, but he has drums, he has Warcry. One other thing to mention is it has a shorter cooldown, and that's also beneficial for trying to initiate without that Blink Dagger, which I think he's not wanting since he's going for a semi-carry build and just relying on the vacuum for initiation, which, again, puts a lot on the shoulders of Delighted Mind. He can set up amazing team fights, but he has to get the right positioning on it, and that's very, very important for him. So we'll have to see how that goes. But for those of you who are just tuning in, thank you for doing so. Hope you enjoy the cast thus far. Blaze casting. I generally cast duo, but in this case I'm doing, for my first time doing the SECS tournament, going to be solo casting, and next week hopefully we'll be doing it with one of my buddies that generally co-cast with me. But yeah, moving on forward, we do have Alina is only level 5 right now. That's a really big deal. If you look at the levels, she is by far the lowest. I think Annihilate is generally on the lower end. It's either Jakiro or Alina that gets left behind. But in this case, Annihilate, not even level 6. He wants that Laguna Blade so bad. Can add in so much extra burst potential up against the opposition here. Trying to initiate, and they indeed attempt to, but the blink out kind of ends that train really, really quickly. So will not depart, and instead they're just going to turtle up on the tower. Holy crap, Queen of Pain's farm. I was talking about GPM before, and I saw her was really well listed, but I didn't see what she was doing with it. And what she's doing with it is buying a really, really fast scythe. She didn't even pick up treads. She just, or Null Talisman for that matter, she's going for the scythe, and she can honestly pull it off in just 400 gold, but nice Kinetic Field Static Storm, catches out 2, all 3 silenced. And now Dilated Mind looking for a big vacuum. There's the wall. There's the Sonic Wave. Bringing down Pickles at least with the illusion. Nice Ravage coming on out though. Kia may take a fall. No. Magic Wand keeping her alive. 4-second stun. Laguna Blade on the southern end for Darkseer. They're both dropping down really, really fast. And now I don't really see what more. He wants to bring, Zeb wants to bring down Chingu, but he's very, very durable. Nice Reality Rift with the Stormhammer will finish the job. Sven now in the action. Wishes he was there sooner, but better late than never. And now he's going to 2-hit Fate to victory. Just one more auto attack, he just needs some mobility, and he does manage it. So it brings him down. But on the back end, Oathkeeper, holy crap, Ultra Kill didn't catch him. He was able to clean up, I believe the Venomancer was the last man standing. Yeah, so Venomancer, run as fast as you can, but you have a Blink Dagger Rubik on your tails. And tails? I mean, he's kind of a worm. I guess it's appropriate. Anyway. Yeah, Lena now trying to get out of dodge, but Sven not having any of that. She's just going to try to die to neutrals. Will manage to do so. No, there's just enough of them. I mean, if that wasn't stacked, that wouldn't have been the case. But yeah, it worked out in the end. So that is not the best. I mean, obviously you would prefer not to die at all, but you only lose the gold. You don't give the experience or gold to the opposition. So pretty good to newt when you can, if you have no other alternative. But despite, I would say, that victory, Sven got quite a bit of farm out of that in the end, now sitting at 5, 4, and 11. And of course, the fact of the matter, they weren't, based on the fact that I was so back and forth, they weren't able to follow up with some tower kills. So towers still happy and healthy on pretty much every lane. This one taking a few hits, but it's okay. And from there, it's just, yeah, like I said, they haven't been able to follow up with tower pushes. So you look at the gold graph, and you see it's still a huge advantage for the Radiant. And it will most likely stay that way unless they can get a team fight that they can follow up with. And that means at least a 2-kill lead instead of all that back and forth stuff. But it looks like Rubik's looking for a BKB. Can't imagine it being Nags. In the meantime, though, Iho trying to get a pick off and trying to set up for his teammates, but Rubik not having any of that. Oathkeeper blinking right on out immediately after her Fate Bolt. In the meantime, Fate farming up in the mid lane, and his CS is, you know, going up there. It's still not as high as Sven's. Oh my gosh, wow, big pick off here. Oathkeeper, no way of getting out of that. And at the same time, Annihilate pulled in with the vacuum. Yeah, good combo. One thing that I failed to mention was the fact of the matter is you can put the Kinetic Field Static Storm combo down and then just vacuum them into it after the fact. You don't even have to set it up with that. So, order of operations, not so mutually exclusive there. and they'll do what they can. And this is going to be a tier 2. They're following up their pushes, they're following up their team fights with more advantage. Get a small advantage, make it larger with the tower kill, with a Roshan, whatever you need to do. And that's been happening with Mix, not so much with the Smiley Face crew. So they've been playing admirably, and hopefully Tidehunter can make a big swing here. But now if they can take this Roche, this is going to be way too much for the Dire team to handle. Just the fact of the matter is this is kind of ballsy because Rubik's coming back up. They can still teleport to their tier 2 middle, and of course the fact of the matter is Tidehunter can Ravage, but they're confident in this Plague Ward, giving them the vision they need, and they do have this Observer up top too, so they know exactly what's going to happen and what's going to be oncoming. Actually can probably pick them off. Yeah, speaking of which, Kia just sheeps them up and goes on, pops off all our cooldowns. Now Rubik has picked up the Sonic Wave. That is really, really important to note there, but here comes the Roshan kill, here comes the Sven Aegis, and 2 lives, far better than 1, and she's going to be able to wreak havoc in the next team fight. And haste run on Quap, she can start things off as much as she wants to, possibly on Oath, but we'll have to see how quick he is on Blink. Not quick enough. Now he's dotted up, and there's no way for him to get out of this. He does have the Sonic Wave, but that won't be enough with her Strength Pool. This is, okay, maybe not. Yeah, Haste Rune gets her out of that position, bottling on up, gets mech'd, I believe, or just the aura, no big deal. But yeah, now she's just in and out, and Fate wants to lock her down, but instead is getting kited and now dropped down pretty hard, glimpsing him back in through, past the wall, just too much damage. Kia will take a lot though, Laguna Blade will finish her, so that's a really big deal, but all the same, it is going to be only a 2 for 1. Chingu wants to make it more, going for the Gush, but nice kinetic field from Zeb. Really good placement, and that just stops the chase in his tracks, except for Dilated Mind. Does get caught out a little bit, juking around the trees, trying to go south, and does get Light Striker right up, so that's going to be his demise, and the rest of the Radiant just have to fall back. Sven wants more. I mean, he does have the Aegis, he has the opportunity, he also has a regeneration rune, so theoretically he could go through 3 health bars if he gets disengages appropriately, but the Macro Pyre, the Gush, the Electric Array, that's 1 life you don't want to waste. He has dropped down. Kinetic Field is stuck on Chingu, but not that big of a deal as he's going to just power on through it. Now Sven pops the God Strength, that big steroid, stacking up the Ice Path along with the Ravage, but he's dropping down so fast, and he's actually going to take a fall from the stolen Stormhammer of Rubik, and Jakiro ends that dominating streak. Now Zeb picked off, falling back, and this is huge. I didn't think it was possible, but Smiley Face pulls off an amazing team fight. I said the Radiant were falling back because that was the wisest and most obvious decision to me, but unfortunately they did not. They engaged and they wanted to bring somebody down. Instead, the beautiful, staggering Dire team, Smiley Face, showing that they're still in this for sure. And Goldgraph, it's only a small chunk, but look at the experience. Bam! Just cut in half the advantage that the experience they had before. So that's really, really big for them. And we'll just have to see what they can do with it from there. Tidehunter is not going to be near 16 for quite a while, but I would definitely say Fate got quite a bit out of that. He's going to have his armlet in no time at all. That's a lot of HP. Helps out his buffer quite a bit. But you still have to keep in mind, Sven had that advantage to begin with. He had a drum, which gives him 5 attack speed, and he can actually pop it for 10 more, and now he has 100 more with that Mask of Madness. Now, one thing I mentioned last game is this is a double-edged sword. You get one of the highest DPS as far DPS per gold items in the game. The Mask of Madness, you get so much attack speed, which Sven definitely lacks. However, you are also extremely vulnerable. You increase the damage you receive by 30%, and because of that, you can just get singled out. So you saw what happened before where they just stun, he couldn't do anything. That's just going to happen again if they can initiate appropriately. Sorry, there is an engagement going up on top where Sven is not involved whatsoever. Beautiful vacuum coming on through, and the wall, the Sonic Wave, they're getting obliterated. Shingu Dota has no Ravage available. Pickles on such low life. Fate wants to bring down Kia. Instead, Kia brings down the Jakiro and will just be able to blink away. Fate on low mana having to fall back, and that was not what they wanted. Picked off the Disruptor, but now they lost 2 in the process, as Sven has finally joined the fight with that mobility and is looking for the Tidehunter. He has popped his steroid, God's Strength, and now Anchor Smash will not be enough to bring down the Venomancer. What are you doing, Fate? You're going to get destroyed. That was a complete mistake in my mind. Nevertheless, Oathkeeper gets vacuumed up on the cliff. Nice Stormhammer has a blink coming up. He needs to blink if he wants to bring him down. Telekinesis is available. Come on. Oh my gosh, he's just going to TP out. As soon as he realized he was out of range, he just fell back. But the fact of the matter is, Zeb was there. I don't know, if he had just popped his phase boots, the little time period that Darkseer took to pop his surge, the cast animation on that, he possibly could have just phased it forward, telekinesis, and tried to finish him off. But he didn't want to get glimpsed. He didn't know where the enemy team was, and he didn't want to be another casualty out of that exchange. So, wisely enough, he does teleport back and maintains the highest KDA right now at 938. So he's got to be doing something right. Oathkeeper on the prowl, looking for Yellow, who is now smoked up in the jungle, running for his life. This is what, ladies and gentlemen, what I love to call extreme warding. Puts up one of the best wards in the game. May get countered in, a few minutes, but nevertheless, it is so visible, and it just helps out so much in pushing up this top tier 2 tower. Can put a lot of pressure in that regard. And yeah, the smoke just allowed him to jump in, jump out as best he could. Venomancer finding out Pickles. And now there's a lot of action going in multiple regards. With the Stormbolt, Oathkeeper's going to get picked off here. There's very little he can do. He does throw out a nice stun combination. He actually survives. A beautiful Dragon Flip going out to get 2 kills to start things off. Rubik is on low life, so he's no longer going to be in this fight. But still, they have a 4-for-3 advantage, and they're going to want to put pressure on this tower since Ravage is available. Are they going to pop buyback? Do they even have buyback? Yeah, Sven has it, and Venomancer does not. So, with that in mind, now oh my gosh, huge vacuum, heal wall, huge scream, and burning on through, but a nice Ravage going across, and really nobody has dropped down yet. Shingu taking a lot, but he gets healed up with the wand, and the Kraken Shield just mitigating so much damage. Now, he blinks back in, oh my gosh, a little bit too over-aggressive, gets burned down by the Sonic Wave. Kya gets finished off with a Fade Bolt, 4-second stun on a dead corpse of Queen of Pain, but they aren't able to push this tier 1 tower, oh my gosh. All that work, and still all the towers stand. Finally, some siege creeps are able to finish out the job in tier 2. In the process, so Oathkeeper healed up a little bit, bottled up, and was kind of doing a little bit back and forth. But yeah, he's going to have to telekinesis if he's going to get out of there. The Surge is on gold. Oh my gosh, Venomancer could have caught him. He did catch him out there. I thought the Gale, missing of the Gale, might have given him the opportunity, but that's right. Venomancer has a blink, ladies and gentlemen. And when Veno has a blink, I'm not going to say something went wrong, but it's a different stage of the game. We're 27 minutes in, and you just have to see, the fact of the matter is he has a lot of assists. He has 17 assists, as a matter of fact. He's been in almost, okay, not every fight because they have 32 kills, but you have to okay, so he has, what, 24? Am I getting that right? I'm thinking, yeah, 24 kill assists out of the 32. So he has a huge amount of participation percentage, been a major part of every single kill, and has been getting gold for it. So he only has Tread's Magic Wand, he's been warding aggressively along with Disruptor helping him out, and now alongside his Bracer he has the best initiation tool in the game, the Blink Dagger, and with that he'll get beautiful Poison Novas off, beautiful Gales, and long-range initiation, which I kind of feel that they're lacking. If Sven isn't picking up a Blink Dagger, if he's going for a carry Sven, then they need somebody to jump in there, and that's going to be the Venom. He may be the casualty of war for it, but all the same, he will start things off, and that'll set up the Darkseer, which has been setting up every single engagement, especially the beautiful one right here. So we'll see how that transitions out, but the Roshan will be up in about 4 minutes, and from there we will see some aggression and focus over that objective, because that Aegis of the Immortal, so good on Sven, so good on either Chaos Knight or even Rubik, can benefit a lot from it. Still possibly looking for that BKB, who knows. But really right now just looking for some spell steals. Picks up Telekinesis, puts on a Plague Ward. Oh my gosh, but no, nice Nova coming on through. Static Storm, Kinetic Field, and now they're taking a lot of damage. They won't drop down from this necessarily. Actually, he's going to get caught out. He's so slow. Glimpse back in too. That's going to be possibly 2, but beautiful stun from Pickles. Now the Macropyre just really trying to push them back, but instead double kill for the Queen of Pain as the Stormhammer goes on through, and they're just getting obliterated in this. Just barely surviving. Sven gets enough damage with enough cleave to bring them down within an inch of his life. Definitely playing so close to the chest, and unfortunately the Tidehunter was not there. He was farming his pipe, which he may have now. He indeed does, but pipe for dead team, not really going to be so beneficial, and there's really nothing you could do for this tier 2. Luckily, Roche won't be spawning for another couple minutes, so they have the time to recover from their deaths and reinforce their tier 3 here, but all the same, that was really beneficial for Sven, and he's getting something big from the courier here. It looks like his BKB, and somebody's point booster, Venomancer, so he's going to go for Blink Axe, go for some major damage. But yeah, that pipe is really important. It's going to help out quite a bit, but yeah, it's whether or not it's debatable to farm that up and lose 4 teammates. I would just debate that the teammates shouldn't have been there in the first place. But one way or another, they got caught out and went over aggressive. Oh yeah, on the cliff. He's gonna TP out just because he's like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Whatever. Anyways, Radiant still staying very, very grouped together, so the experience has been split amongst them, but they have the advantage right now, 36-24, so they're not going to stop now. Along those lines, you look at the 4th and 5th place are the previous leaders of Experience per Minute, which were the solo heroes, Rubik and Tidehunter for the Smiley Face team. But right now, other than Disruptor, these 3 aren't doing too well. I would definitely like to see Lena getting a little bit more as far as experience goes to get that Laguna Blade rank 3. She's just looking for a drum. In the meantime, though, nice initiation. Blink going on through to pick off the Disruptor. He's picked off so many times, but a Ravage on 1. Not sure if that was worth it. Trying to bring him down now. The vacuum into the wall. Here comes a Giant Nova, rank 2, going on through. There's going to be a lot of damage over time. But the Laguna Blade at least brings on the Venomancer, the Macropyre. The damage, Dilated Mind will take a fall, and they will all drop very low. Actually, they will. This one will drop down to 0 as Chaos Knight does get hit on the back end by the Stormhammer. Now, nice Ice Path to prevent Zeb from getting a glimpse off, except for on Tidehunter, who was dropped down in the end. And unfortunately, Pickles not able to get out of there. Just a little bit immobile, 350 base movement speed. Even popped a drum charge not too long ago, but not going to be enough. They have taken a fall. And in the end, just another unfavorable exchange for Radiant. It's going to be very, very hard to come back from that now that Roche is up. If Sven wants to do it, he can. He has the Mask of Madness up. He has the drum. And they just want to take Tier 2 tower. They have the... Well, they had the vision. I guess they're going to reward it. Presumably Zeb has... Nope, no observers at all. He's probably corying them up at this moment. Nope. I'm wrong in every regard. It looks like he's going for Vlad's or Tranquils or something. We'll have to see. Oh. Okay, why would they get the armor piece? The armor piece has been there for a while, I think. Yeah, it's Dilated Mind's old one. No big deal. Confusing myself a little bit, but irrelevant to the given circumstances. It looks like Queen of Pain, who of course finished her Scythe a long time ago, has just now finished her Aghanim Scepter. Really big deal. 40-second cooldown, so she can spam it, even like counter push like 3 creep waves before a team fight. And of course with the 725 AoE damage on top of Venomancer's damage as he pursues his Aghanims, that'll be a lot of magic. The pipe itself won't be enough. Where's the mech? Is there a mech? I don't think anybody's building it. I think they just thought the pipe would be sufficient, and maybe it will be, but all the same, they're going to have some really good team fights and a really good amount of damage output. I think a little bit of luck on the crits from Chaos Knight and things along those lines is going to be very, very important. But right now, he needs more farm. I don't know if he's going to go for a BKB next or what, but just getting sliced up is not the best option right now, and he only has so much HP to work with. But yeah, Plague Ward's going on down. Blink coming in through from Venomancer. Just making sure that he doesn't get caught out here, but yeah, he's just kind of suiting things up so that they can be looking for a roast in just a moment's time. But all the same, here comes an Observer. Both teams know exactly what the other's doing, and even Illusions to scout things around a little bit. But Sven is just kind of wishing they would go, and it's like, come on, I dare you. I dare you just go and cluster into a tiny little circle so we can just completely destroy you. But I would say that Dire have the same sentiment. I mean, you have the Ravage going off. If you telekinesis with the Ravage, you have a perfect setup for that follow-up stun of the 1.75 in an AoE. And of course the Ice Pass and Macropyre along with that. Now initiation comes. The Reality Rift actually pulls in Zeb, but they don't follow up with a stun, so nobody gets locked down there except for Pickles. Cut out in the kinetic field. Now comes the Ravage. Sonic Wave. The Static Storm is just a chaos of destruction. And now a lot of damage coming into the Radiant, but they've already taken down 2 heroes. Darkseer has fallen, but he's done his work. Oathkeeper running for his life. I guess he blinked the Shadow Strike, but it doesn't matter. Annihilate, trying to pop off the Laguna before she drops down with the Storm Hammer, and Sven's amazing auto attack damage says absolutely not. And he will drop down, and with that will be the Roche and possibly the game. They can, I think they could easily take a Rax with this Roshan kill. The Aegis of the Immortal, very, very much in their favor, so we'll have to see. And Tidehunter, I think he got vacuumed on the cliff or something, but one way or another, he is caught up in a really bad spot, trying to get a TP scroll to get out of there as he has no Force Staff or Blink Dagger. I wonder if they know. Probably not, but, you know, if they had any idea, if they just happened to throw a casual Plague Word up there, that would have been hilarious. But all the same, they're just focused on the giant piglet that is Mr. Roshan, and they're going to bring him down and give the Aegis to the Sven. And with that rightfully reclaimed, it's going to be a lot of pain for the Dire. I don't know if rightfully reclaimed is the appropriate terminology, but it's going to get some Daedalus action up on the Sven. Now this is Demon Edge and Crystallis, and I think a follow-up recipe will be complete. So no big one way or another, but I'm just going to check real quick, because I don't want to be wrong. Yeah, there's a third recipe. 1200 in fact. I don't know why I'm blanked on that, but no big deal. Boots of Travel's up on the Queen Pain, so mobility on top of mobility. I mean, she doesn't have like a movement speed item, I suppose, other than the boots themselves, but even so, Boots of Travels and Blinks, that's all you need. all over the map, and pretty much one major point about Dota is that you just have to be at the right place at the right time. Gather together, split apart, whatever you need. It's very, very essential, and in that case, it's really good to have such mobility to defend towers, to initiate long range, to buy back, and have that secondary life to jump right back into the fray, as she has the option to do now. And with this positioning, it's really done a number on Dire's not only morale, but farm potential. I mean, you look at, of course, Chaos Knight's still only sitting at 72 creeps. Look at the GPM, 500 for Quap. The net worth, nobody on the Dire is over 8,500. So that's really, really painful for them when they rating have 3 over 10k. I mean, the goal graph tells the exact same story. 25,000 experience lead. Holy crap! I didn't even see the levels being that bad. But yeah, level 21 Sven probably can 3-shot a level 13 Lena. Sorry to say. But one thing I was trying to mention was the fact of the matter is all these plague wards going around, observer wards hopefully too, just this one which will expire, but they have potential to control the jungle of the Radiant. They have control over all the different lane venues. The tier 2s are pushed in, so really they can, if they put the right wards up, they can corner and quarantine the Dire team into this tiny little pocket called their base that they cannot leave out of if they want to keep their lives. Along those lines, though, they don't really seem to be putting that pressure out with more than just illusions. So that may give the Dire team, Smiley Face, just a little bit of opportunity to farm up a few more last hits and try to bring something back together. Like I said, a mechanism would be amazing right now, but it doesn't look like that's going to be an option with their farm as it is. So we'll have to see, but Venomancer, refreshing that plague ward, has the Gem of True Sight, I guess just a counter ward. Yeah. What they're doing right now, they're not even worrying so much about warding as much as counter warding. I have Fate. Oh my gosh, he stunned the Queen of Pain illusion. He is so toast. Here comes the Sonic Wave going on through. The nice Ice Path will follow inside the kinetic field. Macropyre as well. Static Storm. Beautiful Ravage. Shingu actually taking quite a few down. Dilated Mind needs to pop his pipe off. Didn't even bother. Holy crap, he got incinerated. All the same, Chaos Knight is on the run. We'll drop down to Queen of Pain. Mega kill streak for him. Nice Ice Path though. Doing that. Shadow Strike onto her. She's going to drop down with the Light Strike Array. That's amazing teamfight that I did not see coming. Sven, not where he needed to be. Right place, right time is exactly what I was talking about before. And there can also be the exact opposite. And right now, Sven is kicking himself for not being with his team during that. I mean, looking on my screen, it didn't seem like a very smart way to initiate when they had absolutely no vision at all. But it definitely paid off for them, even with the Chaos Knight's demise. BKB does get popped off. Let's see how many chops it takes. 1, 2, 3. Not too far off. I mean, obviously she wasn't full health, but still taking a lot. And Oathkeeper, one more. Boom. That is the crits. 1539. With that attack speed, Sven is a monster right now. Wicked sick with that double kill. Hoo-hoo. All the same, if he had been with his team, that wouldn't have they would have just steamrolled on over. Another thing to mention, that Pipe of Insight, he could have spammed it. There was points where he was not stunned, locked down in that. I think he might have been trying to get closer to his allies to hit more people with it, but it's better just to get it off than taking a fall like that. In the end, though, Chingu, really nice initiation with that Force Staff and got in a position I couldn't even imagine to get that Ravage off. So, good, well played for them, and that was definitely the team fight they needed to try to stay in it, but all the same. The Agency Immortal will be expiring in a short time.